Horace Grant is quoted in this documentary about being the snitch, about being the leak in Sam Smith's book. But on camera, he says that wasn't me. And then we just kind of have Michael essentially insisting it was, and then we move on. We have nobody like Sam Smith. We don't have anybody else involved in the team to say, no, it wasn't Horace. Michael has a grudge against him. Or that's not how this happened. They let Michael's version of the truth be the truth. They painted it like Horace Grant was definitely the leak in the movie. Also, when Michael says we would have won 7, you don't have anybody on the Spurs that year saying, no, that wouldn't have happened. When he says we would have brought back the band, you have nobody on that team saying, yes, I would have signed for a 1-year deal. Or let's say Scottie Pippen saying, no, I was not coming back on that squad. You don't have anybody challenging Michael's version of the events on, let's just say, his father's murder, because that is a wildly controversial murder case that's still kind of bandied about and questioned and pushed back against. That the version of the events that are out there are just not true. And one of the murderers that are behind bars are saying this is not the way that it happened. And he's still trying to fight for a lesser sentence. There's just so many things that take place in this series that Michael gets to have the final say that nobody counters him. And that was my biggest problem with the series. At the very end, Michael says, let's run it back. Everybody could have been convinced to come back on a 1-year deal. And so you are left to believe, yes, they could have come back for a 7th. But they don't ask anybody that sat down for the interview, would you have come back for a 1-year deal? Hey, Steve Kerr. Hey, Scottie Pippen. Hey, Dennis Rodman. They don't ask any of those guys, would you have come back for a 1-year deal? So I think Horace Grant is right. Clearly, there's some bitterness between Horace and Michael, and maybe that happened because Horace Grant was the snitch. I don't know. I'm not saying that Michael was wrong in that. I'm just saying that there's nobody to counter ever in this series what Michael's version or narrative was, and that's what Horace Grant is saying, and he's right.